As I said, prep is hard regardless if you follow a flexible dieting approach or not. My first tip would just be, yes, you want to give it 150%. Like, to me, when I'm on prep, I want to give it my all, because why else, like, why would I be spending all this money and doing all this if I'm not going to give it 100%, if I'm just going to slack off and, like, skip workouts and not hit my macros 100%. Like, on prep, I did, like, mostly zero out my macros, but, I didn't go absolutely crazy. Like, I didn't have to bring Tupperware everywhere. If I had to eat out sometimes, I would just fit it in my macros. Like, yeah, I would hit my macros on point, but I didn't freak out and only eat, tilapia and asparagus, let's just say. That's what everyone says. But it's true. Like, you still can be flexible if you want to go out with your friends at night. But you don't have to drink alcohol. I know a lot of times it's very alcohol focused, but you can go out and drink water. You can be the designated driver. You don't have to isolate yourself and become so consumed and obsessed with the prep. That would probably be my first tip. Just, give it 150%, but it doesn't have to be the only thing that you focus on. When I was in prep, I was very strict with my macros and stuff, but like I said, I could go out sometimes. I could go to Starbucks sometimes, just fit something in my macros, like if I wanted something, or eat out for lunch wherever I was. I was also in school. If I wanted to go out, I just didn't drink, stuff like that. You can make it work. Just don't get so isolated and don't make it your entire life. My second tip about being in prep, it would be definitely, do all your workouts, hit your macros, but again, make sure that the diet and the workouts are working for you and it's not putting your health in jeopardy. I know some people who do follow a clean eating approach to prep because they don't like the macros and whatever, and that's fine. It works for them. But, like, you need to find out what works for you. And again, that kind of ties in with your coach. Make sure that, like, the coach that you choose works with what works for you. If you do find a coach that you mesh well and they want to give you a meal plan, and you're fine with that, then fine. But, just make sure, if you are doing like 2-a-day cardio sessions or something, that it doesn't kill you, and it doesn't, like, me personally, I would not be able to do like an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening plus lifting. Like, that's just way too much for me. I would never do that just to get on a stage in a bikini. So, don't kill yourself. Definitely give 100%, but don't kill yourself, if that makes sense. I know that could kind of seem contradicting to beginners or whatever, but it kind of makes sense all in my mind. Another tip, this is a big one, would be don't compare yourself to other competitors. It's very, very, very easy to compare yourself, in everyday life. But I was even doing this at some times. I was like, oh, I'm 6 weeks out. Let me search hashtags on Instagram and see what other people look like 6 weeks out. Like, why would I do that? I don't know, but it just kind of drives you crazy. And it's like, oh my God, she has like an 8-pack right now. Like, there's no way I'm going to be ready for my competition. I would, like, that just makes you doubt yourself even more, and that just makes you even more crazy. And prep can be a mind game regardless. So just don't compare yourself with other competitors. They're at different journeys. They came from different places. Like, some people prep forever or I don't know what I'm talking about. Some people start their prep relatively lean, and some people start their prep not lean, like they come off a reverse diet or something. Everyone's body is just so different. And this is even with people that are competing. If you look at the girls that are competing next to each other on stage, everyone just has different genetics. Everyone has a different body type. Yeah, like even the girls in my height, we were all tall, whatever, but some girls had, like, I had longer legs than some girls, but we were the same height, you know what I mean? And, like, I didn't have abs on stage. Like, it's just, I think it's my genetics. I have never had block abs. Like, I've always wanted abs like Bella Falcone. Like, that's the first person that comes to mind. Because I was always like, oh my God, I wish I had her abs. And I was always, trying to get those abs. But I just don't think I'm genetically designed for that. And I use weighted abs. That's like the only that's the only ab exercise that I do. And it just doesn't seem to develop. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I do think genetics have a lot to do with it. Like, you see some girls who are like bulking and they still have abs, and then some girls just don't. So, comparing yourself to other girls is just setting yourself up for disaster. It just really is. And I know it's hard in this competition and in this sport because technically you are being judged against other girls and you are getting compared to the other girls on the stage. But again, you never know what the judges are looking for. Like, I never thought in a million years that I would win first, even when I was about to get on stage and I was looking at all the other girls in my height class. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm even gonna place in the top 5 or in anything. And I guess, I don't know. I still can't believe it. But I'm just saying is you just never know what would happen. So this kind of ties into my next tip. Don't expect anything from your first show. This is what I kind of put in my mind. Like, obviously it is a competition and you worked so freaking hard to get to this point. But don't anticipate anything and don't expect anything. You kind of have to go into your competition saying, I came so far, look at where you've come from, and just look at your journey and look at how far, like what you've put in to get to where you are on show day. You've put in a lot of time at the gym, you've put in a lot of things in MyFitnessPal, just certain things. Everyone's journey is tough and worth it, no matter what happens. But bodybuilding and bikini, like, I even knew before I started competing that it's very political and it's very, I don't know the other word for it. It's just, you never know what the judges are looking for, basically. Like, sometimes, like the show that I went to before I even competed, there was this girl, I swear, she had an amazing body. Like, she had like an 8-pack, like, she was pretty muscular. And like, when I saw her in front of all the other girls, I was like, she needs to win first place, like, overall out of anyone. And she didn't even place. She got like 3rd call outs. So I guess they weren't looking for that body type in that specific competition. And then I've seen other competitions, the girls who are super, super lean, are very muscular, almost look like they could do well in figure, they get first place. So, and then like someone like me, I think when I competed, I was not the most muscular at all. Like, I probably had like the least, I looked like I had one of the least amount of muscle, and I wasn't even that, I felt like I wasn't too low of body fat, I wasn't that muscular, and then I placed first. Like, it just didn't, I don't know, you just really never know what the judges are looking for. So, don't get your hopes up and don't get discouraged. Not everyone is gonna win first place every time. Like, there's a lot of girls who compete, and it doesn't mean that you have a bad body or that you didn't give your prep your all. Look at like Miss Bikini Olympia. You know how long it took her to get there? Like Ashley Kaltwasser or whatever. Or even Amanda Latona. Like, Amanda Latona is one of my freaking idols, and every time she competes in the Olympia, she gets like 5th place. And you just really never know. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have one of the best bodies. So just keep that in mind. Again, just give it your all, and do your best, and I think that's the most important thing with going into your first competition, is use it as a learning experience. And what I thought too is the main reason I wanted to compete is if you really feel like you want to compete and you think it's something that it's something you're interested in, and not just because you're bored, or I mean you couldn't do that if you're bored, but not just because everyone else is doing it. You shouldn't compete just because everyone else is doing it, and you shouldn't compete just to get a better body. Like, I think that those are the two things that will kind of set you up, not for failure, but you won't enjoy it as much. It's not just like something that, oh, let me just pop in here and see if I'm bored, or if you want to get a better body, like you think that'll make you happier. Like, those are just the wrong reasons to go into your first competition. But if you're curious and you really have thought about it and researched it and put a lot of time into really figuring out what the sport is about, and actually go to your first show before you compete or before you decide to prep. Because I had heard of someone before I decided to compete, how they went to a bodybuilding show and they got completely turned off by the fact of competing, and they dropped out of their competition, and they were like, I never want to do this. Like, this is just not me. This is just not something that I would want to do. So I had never been to a competition before. So I went to a competition, and going to that competition actually fueled my fire even more. Like, it made me want to compete even more. I was like, you know what, I can really see myself doing it, even though it is outside my comfort zone. I can definitely be an introvert. I can definitely be shy at times. But I wanted that challenge, and I wanted to step outside my comfort zone, because I felt like that was really something that I had wanted to do for so long, and going to that show really confirmed the fact that I needed to do it, just so that I would know what it was about, and just so I would know if it was something that I could really see myself doing in the future. And after going to that competition, I was like, that's it, I'm signing up. This is something that I need to do. And I told myself that I needed to do at least one competition to see if I liked it. Watching a competition and actually doing a competition is a lot different. But at least if you go, you can kind of get an idea. If you can see yourself strutting your butt on a bikini in front of a bunch of people that you don't know. And then once I actually did compete, at first I was like, in my mind on stage, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I am on stage in a bikini, in stripper heels with a bunch of other girls. Like, it was just so weird initially, but then I was like, this is kind of fun. Like, I didn't care who the heck was in the audience. Like, yeah, I can be an introvert at times, but if I'm on a stage, like, I feel way more confident than, I guess, if I'm talking just to a couple people that I don't know. So, I started having a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed my experience. So, I mean, you never know until you try, but those are my main tips. I hope this wasn't all over the place, and I hope that this helped. Again, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe and share the video. And anything else that you want to know, give me some more video topics. I would love to answer the questions for you. Have a good day. Bye.